The U.S. and its allies have imposed sweeping sanctions, export controls, and other measures following the start of Russia's war against Ukraine. These actions are aimed at isolating Russia from the international economy, restricting its access to critical technology and resources, and holding its leaders accountable for their aggression. Since February 2022, when Russia launched its unprovoked war against Ukraine, the U.S. Department of the Treasury has implemented more than 2,500 sanctions in response to Russia's war of choice. These sanctions target key sectors of the Russian economy, such as metals and mining, energy, defense, and financial services. They also target individuals and entities involved in evasion efforts, arms trafficking, illicit finance, and human rights abuses. The U.S. Department of State has also imposed sanctions on prominent Russian oligarchs and elites close to President Putin, such as Sergei Rolzhin, God Nisanov, Maria Zakharova, and Alexei Mordashov. These sanctions freeze their assets and prohibit U.S. persons from doing business with them. The U.S. Department of State has also suspended diplomatic relations with Russia and expelled dozens of Russian diplomats and intelligence officers. The U.S. Department of Commerce has further restricted the Russian military's ability to obtain technologies and other items it needs to sustain its aggression and project power. It has added 71 parties located in Russia and Belarus to the entity list, effectively cutting them off from obtaining U.S. origin items or foreign-made products derived from certain U.S. technology or software. The U.S. Department of Commerce has also tightened export controls on dual-use items that could be used for military purposes by Russia. The U.S. government has coordinated its actions with its allies and partners around the world, forming a historic coalition of over 30 countries that have imposed similar sanctions and export controls on Russia. The U.S. has also worked closely with the Group of Seven, G7, major economies to unveil new sanctions and export controls targeting Russia over its war against Ukraine. The G7 has also pledged to support Ukraine's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and economic recovery. The U.S. and its allies have imposed sweeping sanctions, export controls, and other measures following the start of Russia's war against Ukraine. These actions have had a significant impact on Russia's economy, military, and political stability. Analysts are projecting a double-digit decline in Russian GDP in 2022, soaring inflation estimated near 20% in 2022, and Putin's war is projected to wipe out the last 15 years of economic gains in Russia. The U.S. and its allies are committed to maintaining the pressure on Russia until it ceases its aggression and respects Ukraine's sovereignty. The U.S. sanctions and export controls on Russia have created divisions and tensions among Russia and its allies, such as China, Iran, Turkey, and India, who have different interests and responses to the measures. Here are some of the main points. China has been supportive of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but has also sought to maintain good relations with the U.S. and the EU. China has opposed some of the sanctions and export controls imposed by the West, but has also complied with others, especially those related to dual-use items that could be used for military purposes. China has also tried to balance its energy needs with its political stance, as it relies on Russian gas and oil exports but also wants to diversify its sources and reduce its carbon emissions. Iran has been a close ally of Russia in the Middle East, but has also faced U.S. sanctions and export controls over its nuclear program. Iran has condemned the Western measures against Russia and has called for dialogue and diplomacy to resolve the crisis. Iran has also benefited from some of the sanctions and export controls, as it has increased its oil exports to China and other countries that have reduced their purchases from Russia. Turkey has been a NATO member and a strategic partner of the U.S., but has also developed strong ties with Russia in recent years. Turkey has opposed the Western sanctions and export controls on Russia, arguing that they are counterproductive and harm regional stability. Turkey has also continued to cooperate with Russia on energy projects, such as the Turk Stream gas pipeline and the Akuyu nuclear power plant, despite U.S. objections and pressure. India has been a traditional friend of Russia, but has also sought to deepen its strategic partnership with the U.S. India has expressed concern over the situation in Ukraine, but has refrained from imposing any sanctions or export controls on Russia. India has also maintained its defense cooperation with Russia, as it relies on Russian weapons and technology for its military modernization. India has also tried to balance its energy interests with its security concerns, as it imports oil and gas from both Russia and Iran.